Thank you, Andrea. I want to thank Andrea and the Center for all the work that they're doing. I want to thank Senator Reichlin-Melnick for advancing this End Jew Hatred movement here today with the proclamation. I think it's a very important step, and to really raise awareness. And at the end of the day, how do you end hatred? You end it through tolerance and through education, and that is why the work of the museum is so critical. And you look across not just college campuses, you look across high schools, middle schools, and unfortunately hatred is being fostered at a very young age and at every level, not just education, but even in government. The senator pointed out that they passed a bill unanimously this week to look into whether or not the Holocaust is being taught in schools and how it's being taught in schools in New York State. Well, that bill is not passing the Assembly right now. In fact, it was removed from the Ways and Means Committee agenda without explanation. And this is a year after I and my colleagues on the Republican side overrode the Education Committee chairman last year when he tried to block this very bill from moving out of committee. It's unconscionable. The reality is the Holocaust occurred and that it needs to be taught in our schools and in society so that it never happens again. And that's why it's so critical, the work that you're doing to ensure that students in Rockland County, in the Hudson Valley, even in New Jersey, are getting a proper education as to the events that led up to and during the Holocaust, and to ensure that it does not happen moving forward. We are seeing hatred, we are seeing genocide across the world. What's happening in Ukraine right now is an absolute abomination. And I can tell you, my wife is from Moldova. Her parents live about 30 minutes from the Ukraine border. And there is an area in Moldova called Transnistria, which is occupied by the Russian government. And just last week they were talking about, basically invading into Moldova and strengthening their forces on the border there. The fact that this is happening and that very little is being done to stop it is scary, because that's exactly what led to the Holocaust. Apathy and people not stopping what was happening when it was happening. And so we have an obligation as elected officials, as members of the community at large, to speak out and to ensure that not only do we end Jew hatred, but that we end hatred, period. And so I thank you for this, and I thank the Senator for his efforts, and together we will undoubtedly pass a resolution on the floor of the New York State Legislature recognizing the End Jew Hatred movement in New York State and across the country.